Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm diving into a smart home product that's caught a lot of attention lately. This is the Sonado B6 2K wireless outdoor security camera. It's solar powered, wireless, budget friendly, and it packs a bunch of features like color night vision, two-way audio, and PIR motion detection. Now I've been testing this camera at home for the last few weeks through hot days, rain, and nights. And today I'm going to give you the full scoop of this camera and how well it works. Is this Sonado B6 the right security camera for your home? Well, let's get into it and check it out in this video. Okay, so first things first. When you first open this box, here is what you get. First, you get the Sonado B6 camera itself, which has a sleek, compact design with an IP66 rated weatherproof casing. There's also included a solar panel with a long cable. And then of course you do get a mounting bracket. You also get screws, anchors, a Type-C charging cable, and a quick start guide, which pretty much covers everything that you need to get started for the installation of this camera. Okay, so after I've gotten everything out of the box, what are my first impressions? Well, first things first, the build quality feels super solid. Now it's not premium, but it's definitely better than you'd expect at this price point. Everything down from the hardware to the setup is intuitive and beginner friendly. So if you're someone who wants something that's easy to set up and you don't like hardware that's too complex, this is definitely a camera that you'll want to get. Now at first glance, the camera design is discreet yet stylish. I like that the camera doesn't scream, "I'm a security camera," but still looks like it means business. Now it's entirely wire-free, which is always nice. There's no Ethernet, there's no hard wiring, and the included solar panel, you almost never have to think about charging it. And from the size of it, it looks like it should be able to keep the camera adequately charged for use. Now, mounting it and getting the camera installed was super easy. It really just only took a couple of screws, and once that was done, you're all set. In fact, I'd say setting the camera up probably took me less than 5 or 10 minutes. Now, setting up the B6 was also super smooth. All you have to do is download the Sonado app, scan a QR code, follow a few prompts, and boom, you're online. Now, just like most hardware today, but unlike some of the more expensive cameras, this camera only supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi only. So you'll definitely want to keep that in mind, that some of the video quality might be a little choppy. Although when I was using it, I didn't experience any of that lag. But if you're looking at your video remotely, it may be a little bit slower. And then the one thing that I do appreciate about this camera and the app is that the app didn't force me to jump through a bunch of hoops with permissions and signing up for different things. And instead, it just synced quickly and let me customize my settings like motion zones, sensitivity, and notification preferences without any issues at all. If you're a beginner, you'll be happy to know that the camera software is completely intuitive and easy to use. Okay, so now that we've talked about the hardware and the app itself, let's talk about video quality. This Sonado B6 records in 2K resolution up to 3 megapixels, which is a big step up from the typical 1080p that you see in most of these budget cameras around the same price point. You get crisp footage with clear detail, good dynamic range, and wide coverage thanks to the 120-degree field of view, which is nice because it allows the camera to move around, up and down, and left and right. Now what's nice is that I was able to zoom in on faces, license plates, and even packages without much pixelation, and the app allowed me to do it with ease. And then what's also nice is that at night, the B6 really also impresses me. It offers both infrared night vision and color night vision using its built-in spotlight, allowing you to see all the things in the dark that you usually have a hard time seeing. And then in addition to that, with the IR mode, you can clearly see movement even in total darkness. But if you want extra clarity and color, all you have to do is turn on the spotlight and boom, full color night vision. It's especially useful if you want to identify clothing colors or even vehicles at night. Now, another feature that's on most cameras today, which is also available on this camera, is motion detection. But on this camera, it uses PIR sensors, which is also known as passive infrared, which are more accurate and it reduces false alarms. Now, I found this feature pretty reliable. It didn't blow up my phone every time a leaf moved or a car drove by, which I gotta admit happens on some of my cheaper cameras, especially the ones that I've reviewed previously. Notifications come through in real time, and you can review footage through the app either using cloud storage or a local SD card. And yes, the slot does support an SD card up to 128 gigs. Now, another useful feature that's included on most cameras of today, which is also included as a feature on this camera, is the two-way audio. You can talk to delivery drivers, guests, or you can even use it to scare off unwanted visitors. And if that's not enough, you can trigger the built-in siren from your phone, which is super loud. Now, it's not wake up the whole neighborhood kind of loud, but it's enough to make someone think twice about trespassing on your property or even trying to steal your packages from your front doorstep. Now, earlier in this video, I did briefly talk about the included solar panel and how, because of its size, I thought it would be adequate and powerful enough to keep this camera powered and charged. But during my testing, I was really curious about the solar charging, and I gotta say, it did not disappoint. Even in partly cloudy weather, the solar panel kept the battery topped up at around 80 to 100%, and that was after a full charge. And it never died down. In fact, you can monitor the battery level in the app itself, and to be completely honest, I have not had to plug it in once. And that's with motion alerts and spotlight usage daily on the hour. Now, what's also nice about the app is that it is pretty simple to use. You can review motion events, adjust sensitivity, and you can even manage multiple cameras. And then, the best part of all, you can also move your camera around and turn it and go up and down and left to right with the app itself remotely. Now, you can also choose between cloud storage and your local micro SD, or you can do both. The app itself gives you a free trial on the cloud plan, but honestly, I've just stuck with the SD card and it's been enough for my needs. And then if you don't want to go out and buy an SD card, you can even just use the camera itself to watch real time your house or wherever you have the camera placed. Okay, so after using the camera for about a couple of weeks now, let's do a quick rundown of some of the pros and cons. First off, let's start with the pros. This camera is a 2K camera with high resolution video, which means it's super clear and works well during the daytime or nighttime. It's also solar powered with excellent battery life. Again, I have not had to plug it in since I set it up. And then it's also got color night vision plus spotlight PIR motion detection, which means fewer false alerts. And then, like most cameras, it also does have two-way audio and a siren that's good enough to scare away any kind of thieves or even animals or people you just don't want around your house. And then the best part, no monthly fees, especially if you're using local storage. And then finally, easy installation and setup, and an even easier to use interface. Now, when it comes to cons, well, it did disappoint me a little that this does not have 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi support. But then again, the 2.4 gigahertz is good enough for me, especially because you're not watching full video all the time. And then, of course, the spotlight is also not as bright as some of the more premium models, but I do think it is good enough to light up the area that you're trying to view. And then third, the app UI could use a little bit of polish because some of the features were just a little bit more difficult to figure out, but overall, it was still very easy to use. But it's really nothing major, honestly. In fact, these cons are minor compared to what you're getting and how much you pay for this camera. Especially when you've got cameras out there that cost about the same with a lot less features and a lot less quality, to be completely honest. Okay, so overall, and the big question you're probably asking is this Sonado B6 worth it? Well, for around $50 to $60, depending on the deals, you are getting a camera that competes with devices twice its price. The fact that it's wireless, solar powered, and has a 2K resolution, and it doesn't require a subscription to be useful, that's a win in my book. In fact, I think it's a perfect choice for renters, homeowners, or really anyone who wants to add a reliable layer of security without breaking the bank. Anyways, that's my full review of this Sonado B6 2K home security camera. Now, if you've got questions or you want me to compare this to other budget cams like the Blink or the Wyze outdoor models, drop me a comment in the comment section below. And then if you want one of these for yourself, you can use my link and my discount code in the description section below. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell icon to get notified when I post new content. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, so stay safe and stay smart.